Like Howard Beale says in Network, first you've got to get mad. I've got the transcript. There's even short video clips of it they've put out. I don't know if In-Q-Tel, the public CIA investment firm, if they're going to publish all of the video. But, I mean, it's there. It's Wired Magazine, you name it. Wired Magazine headline, CIA director. Your dishwasher is spying on you. And I go on and I say, hey, everything is being engineered with spy grids in it, and the government admits they're watching you and listening without warrants, and they start laughing at me. And then I went on to say 6 years ago, Google put out a press release to its shareholders saying, we're now watching people over the cameras built into their laptops. And they started laughing at that. I mean, that's an article 6 years ago, prisonplanet.com, with a link to google.com in the shareholder section with a press release. And here's the CIA director saying it, and it was in hundreds of news articles. Daily Mail, Associated Press, Reuters. There it is. Wired Magazine, CIA chief will spy on you through your dishwasher. And then it's got the quotes, how everything. I mean, for $1 or less, they can have a wireless system that the smart meter dials into and listens to you with an audio bug. I remember a Time Warner installer one day was in my house, and he said, hey, Alex, I'm a listener, and I heard you talk about in Australia they found cameras and microphones in the cable boxes. That did happen like 12 years ago. He goes, let me show you the manual for this, the Scientific Atlantic cable box. He said, you see that little mark? That's a microphone. And back then there was no voice control of it. He goes, look inside. You see this whole tech area? That's a remote audio sensor, and they've got systems back at Time Warner that track everything you watch and put it into a psychological algorithm. And I'm like, you're a cable installer? And he goes, well, I'm actually a engineer. You know, for every 20 or so of the installers, you know, they have an engineer in case there's problems, but just thought I'd tell you that. He said, yeah, you can borrow the manual. And I went on air and showed the manual and got death threats. This is 10 years ago. And people were calling in going, you are a complete lunatic. There's no microphone in my cable box. When there was a little hole and the microphone was inside. So I went on air and opened the cable box up on air, and people still didn't believe it. Had to basically break it to get into it because it's got a special tool and I didn't have it. But again, this is my frustration, is that I read the Rand Corporation talk about how they would just acclimate everybody to a security state, martial law, incrementally, until we were in deep martial law. And I saw the preparations, and I went to urban warfare drills, and I had police chiefs warn me, like police chief of San Antonio, in a sit-down video interview, because he was a patriot and former Army and had been in intelligence and knew this was what they'd been trained to do to third world countries, overthrowing them. He was approached by the Army. Then I talked to Thomas Sanchez, head of emergency management, himself a Vietnam veteran. Just so happened to have been in intelligence. He's like, this is what we did infiltrating in Vietnam. Well, this is illegal. They've got Marines, Army in every town. The government ships the narcotics in. It's all on record. All the police chiefs know this of any size. It's all a big joke, folks, okay? The Attorney General. Man, I saw this yesterday afternoon. One of our listeners had found it on going into the C-SPAN has put all of its videos back 25 years. By the way, Lamb, the head of it, stepping down. Online, you can search it by keywords, so people are digging through it right now. CNN did that a few years ago, and we were able to go find the stuff I'd seen and heard where the cops are like, get back, they're blowing 7 up. Point is, they blew 7 up on 9/11, Building 7. All these old archives are getting posted now. And you can search them now with keyword. And there is the Attorney General on C-SPAN in 1995. He was then Deputy Attorney General. And there he is saying, I've talked to all the media heads. We're going to get ads out there to teach you that you don't need to have guns. Well, now they've gone further. You draw a gun, you get arrested. There is no law, but they got juries that'll convict. Well, plus it's family court. There is no jury in most cases. So you go to jail. for a thought crime. And he says, we're going to brainwash people. I mean, I remember Sarah Brady got caught on the floor of the House. By the way, this was, she was asked about this in the big Union magazine, and that's where the quotes came out. It's been confirmed. She admitted she said it, but somebody ought to search that 1993. Clinton had just got in office, and the mic was on, and she was up there at by the dais during a vote, and she said, well, we'll get our socialist America as soon as we've disarmed these people. Somebody's got to go actually search that now. I bet you can find that in the C-SPAN archive. It's all been uploaded. Just